to dominate your industry with strategy that actually scales? At Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm, we're not just PR experts, we're licensed sports agents certified in AI and elite business consultants with over 2 decades of experience leading global projects across multiple countries. Visit cprfirm.com, that's colemanprfirm.com, and millionairex.ai, then download the Millionaire X app, your AI-powered guide to getting out of debt, investing smarter, and building generational wealth. Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm. It's a family business. It's different.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Let's stop acting like we don't see how this game is played. If you tired of folks throwing shade with a smile and keeping you boxed in with that slick behind-the-scenes racism, it's time to upgrade your survival skills. See, Phillip Scott dropped more than just knowledge. He handed you a playbook with passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy. This ain't the in-your-face kind. This is that sneaky, office space, let me block your blessings type of racism that'll have you questioning your own reality. It's time to call it what it is and arm yourself with the facts. But baby, don't stop at just peeping the system. Break those mental chains too. That's why you need 7 steps to decolonize the mind. This is about freeing yourself up top, walking in confidence, and letting the world know your mind is not for rent, lease, or layaway. It's time to reclaim your power step by step. So don't just watch, take action. Click over to Amazon.com, type in passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy and 7 steps to decolonize the mind, and secure both books for yourself, your crew, and anybody ready for that mental liberation. La Sherika said it, now go do it. Invest in your freedom. Pick up both books today on Amazon.com. Trust me, your mind will thank you.
After 13 years of exposing lies in the media, I discovered the biggest lie of all. They want you to think racism is random, accidental, just bad people doing bad things. But what if I told you anti-black racism was engineered, programmed like software, marketed like a product, and designed to survive across generations? That's exactly what I prove in my new book, Us versus the Machine, How Anti-Black Racism Was Programmed, Marketed, and Made to Survive. This isn't another book about what racism looks like. This is the blueprint of how it was built, who profits from it, and most importantly, how to dismantle it. I spent years connecting dots that they never wanted connected, following money trails that they thought were buried, exposing the machine that runs on our oppression. Knowledge is power, but strategic knowledge is liberation. Get Us versus the Machine on Amazon today, because once you understand the system, you can beat the system.
Hey, baby, if you're tired of watered down news that don't speak to us, then it's time you download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get it right now on Google Play and the Apple App Store. Stay informed, stay empowered, and support media that speaks truth from our perspective. Now, here's Brother Phil with today's message.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us on our evening stream. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the like button. That would be easy, free. And that way you know exactly when we're coming on. Now, we normally come on, at least me, talking about me, Phillip, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Definitely Monday through Friday, but I post content here definitely for sure 6 days a week. I'm committed to doing it. Sometimes 7, but definitely a good 6. But I'm always going to post at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, whatever time I'm going to post. Tomorrow, I'm going to post content tomorrow, too. But I got my little girl's basketball game, so it won't be a live. But you definitely get, 2 videos within the time frame that we normally do our stream. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So tonight, We gotta revisit something that we saw about a particular gentleman, African immigrant, that he has a particular view, or at least how he views us as Black Americans. And then on the other side, we have another video that's going to go on the other side of the spectrum about discussing unity and things like that. So we're going to cover both sides tonight. Make sure you stay tuned through this particular stream. And you're going to answer a lot of unanswered questions, ask certain questions that need to be asked, because some things get on my last good nerve about a lot of things that's dumped on us as Black Americans to do things that other people are not being asked to do, or things being demanding of us. And also stay tuned, because we're going to go through what the real issue is and what's actually hindering some things that unify right now. I'm not talking to people that don't want to unify, because usually when people don't want to unify, they don't want to unify with their own family either, right? So I'm not even talking about them. I'm not even paying attention to them. I'm talking about those who have the attitude like, look, if you act right, be respectful, do things the right way, whatever, we can have a conversation, we can break bread. So that's kind of people I talk to, right? I don't talk to people that want to bring a bone and carry a bone. Don't have time for that. So let me go ahead and get in this, so I don't take all day and I don't waste your time, because your time is precious, and so is mine. And I have other things to do. Also, let's all just think about LaSherica. Make sure you go after this to AfroWire AI and check out LaSherica. She got a good message tonight. Definitely be right after this stream. You just click over and go there. Now, people maybe be new here, so we have a AI news network called AfroWire AI. And is my brain child creation. So I designed all the characters, everything down to how they dress, the messaging. It's all come from my creation, letting you know I'm completely behind AfroWire AI. There's a human behind it, and that human is me. Okay, so make sure you go and check that out. I do like AfroWire. I'm not gonna lie, I like it, because it's just certain things that I can do there that maybe I can't get people to do. So I like that. So make sure to check it out. All right. So let's get to the first video. Let's get to the first video. And let's have a real conversation about what this particular gentleman has to say, because it needs to be discussed. It needs to be discussed.
I'm African American. He is straight African. How do you see African Americans?
I see y'all as slaves.
And what makes us slaves?
Because you built a nation that controls you.
How does it control us? We got NBA, NFL, we running it.
They use you as dancers and entertainers.
But they paying us $100 million plus.
Yeah, but then they own the money.
So the Africans, how y'all see African Americans?
Huh?
How do Africans see African Americans?
We see y'all honestly as, if you want the truth, we see y'all as our heroes that have given up on themselves.
But I know a lot of Americans that see y'all, they be like African booty scratchers.
It's the persona that the white man has printed on you to dismiss your brother. Because you got to divide me to conquer me with you.
But you divided us and said we are slaves.
Yeah.
But they got y'all too, ain't it?
No, they don't.
You ain't been like, I'm your brother, I'm lost though.
Because I could say tomorrow, if I'm done with this shit, I could go home. You can't go home. You stay here.
All right. So, like always, I like to play the video first, let y'all hear it in full context, and then we'll start it again, and then we'll just stop at certain points. Now, this guy, of course, he really, okay, let's start it again.
I'm African American. He is straight African. How do you see African Americans?
I see y'all as slaves.
And what makes us slaves?
Because you built a nation that controls you.
How does it control us? We got NBA, NFL, we running it.
They use you as dancers and entertainers.
But they...
All right. First, let's start off first of all. First. This is what we be talking about. You say, and clearly he's West African. Clearly, okay? Clearly. You're West African, and you literally wearing the clothing and the style that we wear as Black Americans. So you literally want to dress like a slave. Why do you want to dress like a slave? You remember, you got your homeland. You know where you're from, right? You know where you're from. And yet you still want to come here and dress just like the slaves. What does that say about you? I mean, and have you noticed that? Yeah, you'll come here to America. You literally cosplay a Black woman, a Black man. You have your cultural clothing. I never see y'all in your cultural clothing. I never see it. And all of them have their own cultural clothing, okay? They have their cultural clothing, cultural food, languages, and I don't see them in it. Like they trying to blend in with us. And yet at the same time, of course, those who talking like this, okay? Not everybody talks this way. I'm talking about him or those with that same mindset, okay? So he says that if not mistaken, let me rewind it because I don't want to put no words in the man's mouth. I don't like to do that with nobody. Let me rewind something.
And it's 100 million plus.
Yeah, but then I see y'all as slaves.
And what makes us slaves?
Because you built a nation that controls you.
All right. So he says that he sees us as slaves because we built a nation that controls us. Now, that could be taken multiple ways, but let's take it all the way there. That's what we're here to do, is to take it multiple ways. We built a nation that controls us. Now, that could be taken, well, we built America, but we don't control anything in America, but we built it. Does that make us slaves? No, we're not slaves as currently, but that was our position in America. Here's the thing with that. Yes, the folks, we got to be honest, they do control America. They do. Yes, they do. We were outnumbered, outgunned, and all of that. And to get us in that position, they constantly have done, military operations. They have sabotaged our movement, sabotaged our economics. It's been a lot of sabotage to Black Americans. We didn't get in that position by just because we just were weak and cowards. You understand what I'm saying? See, sir, people like yourself, and see, I'm more harder on people like you. I'm not hard on African women. And I thought about this hard today about African women. African women are put in a horrible position because men like him, they run, they flee the homeland. They don't want to stay and fight. They don't want to stay like Black American men stood and fought in America and made a better place for ourselves as Black men, for Black women and Black children. No, is it perfect? No, but we are not being treated like we once were in this country. We have made laws get changed. The police wearing body cams because of us as standard operating procedure. We're not sitting up here getting our churches bombed every weekend. We're not sitting up here having Black people finding them on trees and all. We're not having that no more. You ain't got the Klan running around here doing what they used to do. You know what I'm saying? Who stopped all that? Them folks didn't stop it because they just were so benevolent. They thought it was wrong. No, we made them stop it. We the one made them have fair housing. You know how the Fair Housing Act get in? When they took the life of Dr. King, there was Holy Week. Black people tore this country up for a good week. And then white people say, oh, hell, man, give them everything. Because they thought this country was going to fall. Because, listen, when you put any group of people in a position that they don't want for anything and they don't even care about their life because you put them in a position they have nothing to lose, that is the most dangerous people to be around. Because they don't care what they do to you or anybody else. And Black America was in a position at that point where they say, man, the hell with it. Y'all taking our life anyway. I can't get a decent job. I can't get a decent place to stay. So, hey, man, I might well turn up. I'm not going out like a punk with it. If I take you with me, I take you with me. It is what it is. And that's the reason why certain things aren't happening anymore. Because Black men stood and fight. They didn't run to Mexico. They didn't run to Canada. They didn't run to all these different countries. Unlike you, sir, you ran. Or your parents. I can't blame your mama, but your daddy ran. If anything, you're supposed to send your women out to another African country. You're supposed to come over here. And then you're supposed to stay in and fight and make sacrifices in your homeland. So if you're a man here talking about Black American men, you are in no position to do that because you fled. Black American men did not flee. They stood, they fought. So you can call us slaves because true, that's our history. That is our history. But reality speaking, America has everybody enslaved now. If you want me to be honest with you, white people are enslaved financially. When you are in deep debt, you are enslaved. The Bible teaches that the debtor is enslaved to the lender. Look at all this affordability crisis, and the only reason it's a crisis is because white people can't afford stuff anymore, right? Student loan debt wasn't a problem until white people had a problem with it. Debt is king in America. The 13th Amendment still makes you a slave if you go to prison. This country loves slavery. They just now figure out a way to get everybody in some form of slavery. Even for you to flee over here, they had a hand in that too. But the men of your nation were so corrupt. They were so corrupt that they did not stand and fight. Some of them took the money from the white man and sold people like you out while they were riding around in Toyota Land Cruisers and they riding around in Mercedes and all the politicians up here tricking off y'all money to slave queens, because that's what they do too. Them politicians over there are tricking off with the slave queen. Some 80-year-old politician going to trick off to some 22, 23-year-old slave queen over there in Lagos somewhere or anywhere they at. Tricking off y'all money. They living good while y'all sitting up here got load shedding going on, water shedding. If you don't know what water shedding is, they cut their water off for so many hours and they cut their water back on. Some of you don't have proper piping, and y'all have the money, but the politicians tricking it off. And instead of you standing and fighting in your homeland and say, wait a minute, I shouldn't have to go to America or Europe or South Africa or anywhere. I should have it in my homeland. You don't stand and fight, you flee. And then you got the nerve to come here to America and talk down on black Americans who have not fled anywhere. Sir, you can't do that. That is a fact. You have not stood and fought. Some of y'all even upset with Ibrahim Traore because he's standing and fighting in his homeland. He didn't flee Burkina Faso. He's trying to stand there and fight and make Burkina Faso a great nation. And if you was a real man, you'd go over there with him and stand with that brother and say, hey, man, I'm going to protect this brother. This brother right. I want Africa to be self-sufficient. He kicked the white French man out. He said, no, you're not taking our resources no more. No, that's a real man. See, that kind of African man right there, that's the brothers I like. Right there. He's standing and fighting his homeland. He's not running over here. He's not doing any of that. He's using his resources. But some of y'all over there, y'all don't like Traore. Y'all don't like her. Because he's not sitting up here bootlicking to the white man, and he's not trying to flee everywhere. You cannot talk as a man. You cannot talk about no other man when you fled as a man. I don't blame women. I don't blame children. But when it comes to the men, you the one I look at. You have no right to talk. And I'm talking about to those who are doing it. Some of you like to come over here. You know what? I'm going to get to that talking point. Let me wait. Let's go back to this gentleman.
How does it control us? We got NBA, NFL. We running it.
They use you as dancers and entertainers.
Okay, you're right. Some of us are dancers or entertainers, and yet our dancers or entertainers are making a lot more money than the GDP of some of your homeland. So if all I got to do is dance and I get paid millions of dollars and I can have a life I never had, then dance it up, buddy. If you're an entertainer and you can get a life for your family that you never got before, hey, why not? Why not? What's wrong with that? We got NFL people who making millions, NBA. We got people online, all kind of people making money. There's nothing wrong with that. We have opportunity, sir, that you fled from your country to get. Once again, you could have had those same opportunities in your homeland, but you left. And the men that's there, they're the men that's trying to do something in the homeland. Because not everybody flee. Not everybody flee, and I know that. There's a lot of men right now that's trying to do something in your homeland, but you're over here. You should be going back to your homeland and help the men of your homeland. You should go and fight. Because if I had anything to do with it, I'll be wanting a meeting with all y'all and say, why are y'all here? I said, because you need to go back to your homeland. And listen, if I was the president, I said, look, as U.S. government, what do we need to do to help you? Because you need to go to your homeland and build it up. You can't just be over here. It's a brain drain. I said, look, the women and children can stay, but the men, you got to go back and you got to stand and fight. And then build it up for the people. And then when they get built up right, then if the women and children want to go back, that's fine. But the men need to go build it up over there. You're not building nothing up over here. You're not building a thing for your people back in the continent of Africa. Well, but let's continue, because I can't stand that. You're not building nothing for the women and children.
But they paying us $100 million plus.
Yeah, but then they own the money.
So
that's so dumb. They own the money. Yeah, and they pay them a lot of money. That's so stupid. Okay.
So the Africans, how y'all see African Americans?
Huh?
How do Africans see African Americans?
We see y'all honestly as, if you want the truth, we see y'all as our heroes that have given up on themselves.
Okay, that don't even make sense. You see us as your heroes that have given up. What have we given up? You didn't really define and say, if you told me that, I'll say, what have we given up? I just want to know, because maybe you're pointing something out to me that maybe we need to look at. What have we gave up on? If anything, sir, you given up. You left your homeland. You gave up on it. You know, some of the most horrible commentary I ever heard about the African continent has been from other Africans that's here. Some, like, I remember a long time ago when I never been myself. And I've talked to Nigerians, I talked to Ghanaians on jobs, and I asked them about, I say, hey man, how is it in Ghana? How is it in Nigeria? Oh man, it's a horrible place. It's just, it's dirty, it's corrupt, and it's just so horrible. I mean, I never even heard white folks talk like that about the African continent, how they talked about it. That I never heard nothing good about it from men I've worked with on the jobs. In the petrochemical industry. They're over here. So not only did you flee your homeland, you saw you some horrible things about it. Now you got some that will say, oh, it's the best place ever. Then you're like, okay, well, why are you here? Well, it's no opportunity for me. Well, you don't have opportunity because you left. The only way you'll get opportunity, you have to build. Look, you see the opportunity you got right now? You can't say white people gave you opportunity. Because if you left it up to white people, you would have no opportunity still today. Black Americans fought for every opportunity that any of you have to come here and build anything. It was Black Americans. And no, we should never let you forget that. Listen, one thing I want y'all to say, to know, I'm always going to put all the emphasis on the men. I'm not going to look at no woman. I'm not going to look at no small children. I'm going to look at the men. You're fleeing. You're not building anything. Then you got the nerve to come over here and talk about us. But let's continue.
But I know a lot of Americans that see y'all, they be like African booty scratchers.
It's the persona that the white man has printed on you to dismiss your brother. Because you got to divide me to conquer me with you.
But you divided us and said we are slaves.
Yeah.
But they got y'all too, ain't it?
No, they don't.
You ain't better have your brother. I'm lost though.
Because I could say tomorrow, if I'm done with this shit, I could go home. You can't go home. You stay here.
So, and you have to understand the fleeing mentality, what he just said. So if it gets tough over here in America, he said, I'm going to get back on a plane and go back and just abandon everything here. Because listen, if you flee your homeland, you will flee anywhere. So you can never expect him to stand and fight for anything. Bottom line. You can't expect it. Now, let me tell you about this lazy comment. And, you know, I'm going to keep circling back to that lazy comment. You tell some and the offense. Let me tell you the offense I can make it plain for everybody. Let me tell you what the offense is. We know that come from a white supremacist talking point, okay? Because a lazy person don't even affect you. But if you come up to a Black American, and only if you're doing it or saying it online, well, no matter Candace Owens, you know, when she was talking all that stuff about Black people being a Caribbean, right? You know, her too, or many others. Who is it? The Myron Gaines, he another one that talk all this crap about Black people. People like Myron Gaines, he's over here talking about Black Americans lazy. That listen, there's no more people more lazy than a Myron Gaines. Let me tell you why. You were so lazy. Your folks are so lazy. They didn't want to build up the homeland. They didn't want to fight. They didn't want to make it a better place. They fled. Look, you were lazy to work. You were lazy to build up the homeland. You were lazy to get out the corruption. You were lazy to not set up the infrastructure. You were lazy as men. How dare you come here and talk about Black Americans, period, when you were lazy not to build up your own homeland. Then you come here and say you so hardworking, where if you were hardworking, that would translate into your homeland, because people that work hard don't have to go anywhere because they build up their own opportunities right there. See, Black Americans built up our own opportunities right here in America. We don't have to go nowhere else. And even if we go other places, because of the skills that we have, that we learn here in America, we can take those skills and build in other countries and put other people on in those countries and even give them jobs. We don't even go over there to take. That's the thing. You know, you flee your homeland and you come here to take. When I see Black Americans, I know several Black Americans who stay in the African continent and they create jobs and give jobs to those brothers and sisters over there. So when we go, we even go to break bread and even share what we have. But when we go because, you know what, man, I like it more over there than here. Some may say, I like this beach property. I can get it at a better price in America. This community over here, man, they my people. I like them. We get along. I want to stay here. I want to retire here. You know, you got some young men like, what's a young man? Like Austin Holloman. He's out there in the African continent. You know, he's going around doing his thing. And he said he don't want to come back to America. And shout out to him. He didn't found his spot. Nothing against that young brother. For that, I'm all for it. If a Black American gets to the African continent and he or she loves it, now you can't be stupid, because I see people be stupid. You can't be stupid and then talk about, oh, they scammed me. And then I hear the stories about how they scammed you. I'm like, why do you go out there with your nose wide open when you wouldn't have done that here? I don't understand that. Ain't nobody can tell me I'm gonna give you some land and I'm buying from me. And I don't check, triple check. I don't check with a lawyer. I don't check with the government. I don't check the laws if I can even own land as a foreigner. I don't check nothing. I give my money, hard-earned American money, to some dude that finessed about 15 people. Then you want to get online and talk about, them people screwed me over there. They finessed me. Then you find out the story and like, you idiot. You idiot. You didn't dot your I's and cross your T's. You just gave money to some dude talking about he owns some land. Well, they should have did me like that. Man, they got scammers everywhere that's trying to get you. Matter of fact, I just seen a woman in Atlanta, FBA woman in Atlanta, scammed about 20 Black women on some house flips. Had them get business credit cards. I'm hearing them saying they gave her $61,000, $30,000, all these different money they giving. So scammers are everywhere. It's a lot of scammers in Black America too, but they go to jail here. But what I'm saying is, don't have your nose wide open. That's kind of silly. You even get scammed here like that. Like, man, it's hard for you to be getting money out of my pocket. Like, what? Huh? That much money? Like, whoa. What you got going on? And then when you're thorough about checking somebody, they're going to back off on you anyway. They're going to back off because they say, because you're going to sniff them out. But there's no other people like Myron that talk like that. You can't talk because you're lazy. You're lazy. It don't matter if you say you work hard. You're lazy. Because if you fled from your homeland as a man, and you say, look how much I'm doing better over here than you Black Americans. You're not doing better than us Black Americans. Look at what you're celebrating. Especially Myron. How are you really doing better? Think about this. What, because you have a show on the internet? You know how many Black Americans got shows? What, you had a Homeland Security job? You know how many Black Americans work for the federal government? Even still to this day, they work in the federal government, federal law enforcement. What do you really have that Black Americans have not achieved? That's why I always tell them, like, how are you doing better? Okay, you went to school. You know how many Black Americans got degrees? Well, we do better. How you do better? Well, we got great jobs. And you know how many Black Americans got great jobs? Like, I still haven't found out how you're doing better. That's what I'm saying. Don't come here like acting like you're doing better than Black Americans. You're not. It's not enough for you two. Well, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, and we got Black American doctors and lawyers. Like, what are you doing that we haven't done? And why are you trying to compare yourself to us? Just, man, come here, get your paper, and enjoy yourself, brother, sister. That's it. You ain't got to compare yourself to us. Now, I know, look, I'm going to keep it 100. Some of you, success could be not living in load shedding. That could be success. Not living in water shedding. Having steady internet could be success. And the reason why you're more successful because you got steady things. That was holding you back, okay? So I'm just going to keep it 100. I'm not talking down on you. I'm just telling you the truth. Don't come over here doing that because that's not right. And let's call it what it is. Even in your homeland, there are sections of your homeland that don't deal with load shedding, water shedding, or anything because they got places in every African country that they live like Americans do. And they just keep the rest of you out of it, though. They keep you out. They got big walls, Donald Trump walls, all around their cribs. Don't have me go there. Now. What y'all talking about? What are you talking about? Let me go ahead and get this person out of my chat there. Boom. Right there. Well, yeah, I'm gonna talk about Africa and the African continent. Yes, I'm going to the African continent. Yes, I work with people in the African continent. Yeah, I do. And let me tell you about that. A lot of them don't even like that y'all talk like that because y'all be putting a bad rap on them. And they've told me, man, don't be listening to them people over there and say because they wasn't no good here. They say, think about it. He said, how is it that it's millions of us live here and we figure out a way to make it? Why do they have to leave? Why do they have to flee somewhere? They told me that to my face. Say, look at how many of us is here. You see us working. You see us with good jobs. A lot of us. You see us with businesses. I do. I see it. Not everybody over there poor and destitute. No, they not. They got Africans over there that got paper. I seen them. Not everybody's poor. They got middle-class Africans. They got them too. Not everybody's poor and destitute. And they figure out a way to make it in their homeland. So, and I respect those brothers and sisters over there that figured out a way. Some of them come from very poor communities. Some of them may come from places like Soweto and places like that. And then they come up, man, they become a, maybe some investment banker, or they could become some entrepreneur. Some of them go into government. I mean, they doing it big. Not everybody poor. So no, I'm never going to believe that because I've seen it with my own two eyes, like what people are doing over there. You got the poor. Yes, you do. You do. But not everybody is like that. Now, let's get to the second video real quick. And this is the other spectrum that we got to talk about. Let's cue this up.
This is to my Black Americans. Why do some of you argue your African ancestral history? It's okay for you to say, I'm Black American, but you can't argue the history of your ancestors. Ancestrally, you and I are cousins. We should chop it up with love and not allow hatred from the media or whatever tool they're trying to use to divide us. And also, Africa do not in any way, or Africans generally, do not in any way have any form of hatred towards Black Americans. We just can't entertain any form of disrespect, any form of belittlement, from anyone. Because Africa is home to all of us. Africa is our home. In fact, I don't call Africa a continent, I call it a community. So it's all love, no hatred, to be honest. You get what I'm saying?
All right. So you heard what the distant cousin was saying, right? So let's go ahead and start it over. And let's go ahead and get back to
This is to my Black Americans. Why do some of you argue your African ancestral history? It's okay for you to say, I'm Black American, but you can't argue the history of your ancestors.
Okay. Of course, we have people that deny their African roots, African history. Some people deny that. And you know what? Listen, we live in a country that you can identify with genders you wasn't born. They say they got up to 100 genders or whatever. So, okay. But I'm going to talk about me. I know that the origin of my people come from the continent of Africa. Yes, I know that. I know my people was taken from West Africa, like the area of Guinea-Bissau, definitely. They were taken. They was enslaved, shipped to Virginia, right? And sold in slavery in Virginia, and was sent down to sugarcane plantations in Louisiana. Okay? Now, that process was over 500 years ago. So we could not continue the language of the Balanta tribe, because that's what the tribe that my family originated come from, out of West Africa. We didn't know that. I don't know that language. I don't know the religion. I don't know anything. So here in America, we had to create our own culture out of our conditions and what we knew. You know what I'm saying? And we have a great culture. You know, we were people that would braid hair, but the braided hair would be actually maps. So when you escape, you can just look in each other's hair and know exactly where to go to escape slavery. You know, we have a culture of resistance. We rose up against the slave master. I mean, it wasn't all this, everybody was just downtrodden now. Because if everybody was downtrodden, never fought back, slavery would still be going on today. There was so many uprisings. That's why slavery was causing a problem in this country and willing to tear this country up. You understand what I'm saying? We are a culture of resistance. So we became a new people. We came from different places. Some people's already here, and I understand that too. But we developed a new culture that we built here in America. We developed our own cultural food here in America. We have our own distinct history. We have our own distinct heritage. No one in their right mind will say, I'm not of African descent. Who know anything about science, history, DNA, etc. If a person denies that, that's on them. I'm not arguing with that kind of person. I'm really not. I'm not trying to convince them. They can say they descend from an alien. I don't care. If that's what you descend from, that's what you descend from. I'm not tripping. But most people I know, remember, Jesse Jackson was calling us African Americans, and black people was fine with it because we all accept that we do have African ancestry. So how is it that we've been called African Americans at least since the 80s up until maybe recently? African Americans on the government's forms, African American on the job, African American on applications for car loans, credit cards, house loans, business loans, African American everywhere. So we have never had a problem acknowledging we have had African descent. So if you're gonna say it, just say things with facts. That's all. Okay. Now let's continue.
Ancestrally, you and I are cousins. We should chop it up with love and not allow hatred from the media or whatever tool they're trying to use to divide us.
Okay. All right. So you say we're distant cousins. Okay. And you say we should not let the media divide us. All right. CNN isn't putting out things every day to divide Black Americans and African people. They're not. I watch the networks. Fox News isn't running pieces every day to divide us. Newsmax isn't running programs to divide us. They're not. Not every day. They may cover a story to do their propaganda, but it's not every day. So no, it's not the media. No, the media you're talking about is people that's posting things on podcasts, maybe social media posts. And some of these people may not even be black. You know the X thing where they're exposing these different countries where these things are coming from. So not all of them are black. They're trying to keep up the division. I get that. I understand. But we can't just put it all on the white man, because that's what you're doing. You're trying to throw it all on the white man. Listen, sir, the white man didn't call us Akata. The white man didn't call us that. The white man didn't call us Jareer. The white man didn't call us Abid. He didn't call us that. The white man got his own name for us. So he didn't call us them words. Where them words come from, brother? It didn't come from the white man. So don't throw it on the white. Listen, I'm the one, the quickest one to talk about what white supremacy is doing. You better believe I'm talking about white supremacy. But if it's not the white supremacy and white people, I'm not putting it on them. So don't put it on the white media. No. Brother, you got to admit, some of you have preconceived notions about Black Americans. I don't care where it comes from. You got excuses. Oh, it was because the movie's on TV. It's because the white people. No. White people have said things about everybody. White people have put out things on TV about everybody. If you that's dumb and silly to watch TV and assume that, or listen to what white folks tell you of all people, then that's on you. That's not on them. You don't have to believe everything people tell you or show you. So take some personal responsibility, brother. You know, it's not. No, can't put it all on white folks now. Let's go.
And also, Africa do not in any way, or Africans generally, do not in any way have any form of hatred towards Black Americans. We just can't entertain any form of disrespect.
Okay, now, I'm going to acknowledge what he said, at least in my experience, is true. I have never been treated bad or any kind of ill will in any African country that I've traveled to. They've been welcoming. They've told me welcome home. Hey, brother, it's good to see you. They asked me a lot of questions about Black Americans, ask us about just a whole lot of things. They're more so inquisitive, if anything. But I've never, the moment I speak, like, oh, you from America? And then they just start asking me a bunch of questions. You know, some of them never met a Black American before. So I've never had a bad experience with them like that. They've always been welcoming. Because trust me, I told you, if they wasn't, I'd be the first one to tell you, don't go over there. I'll tell you. But I've never had that experience, okay? So he's right about that. Now, he mentioned disrespect, but let me play that part.
Any form of belittlement, you know, from anyone. Because Africa is home.
Okay. Well, you say that y'all don't want to be disrespected or belittled. Granted, we don't want to be disrespected or belittled either. So do you think that, listen, if the white supremacist is calling us lazy and don't want to do this or whatever, criminals, whatever, right? We don't care because we know how they are. They anti-Black racist, they hateful, okay? But when you repeat the same words as them, it's different. Because you taking their talking points. You never even been around us. A lot of you don't even live in the same neighborhoods as us, as a Black community. So where you getting that from? And lazy is in every group. Criminality is in every group. Now, the leader of crime in this country is the white male. That's a fact. He's the leader of all crime. Not Black men, them. Not even Black immigrants. The white man. But don't you think that when Black Americans in our culture that see, hey, if you look like us, then we will, you know, hey, everybody, I'm trying to advocate for everybody Black. And then you come over here and then you take the talking points of white racist, and then you want to talk like you better or whatever. Don't you think that causes an issue, brother? We don't want to be disrespected. We don't want to have y'all repeating white supremacist talking points. You know, we need to, you know, hey, you start checking more guys like Myron Gaines that's going on national TV talking to anti-Black racism. You know what I'm saying? Myron Gaines, lucky I was not the president because his behind would have been deported too. I was sending him right back to Sudan. Say, go back to your homeland and go fight for your people. Since you know so much, since you're so successful, take that to Sudan. But nobody want to be disrespected. Now, Black Americans, we defend ourselves, and let's think about it. What do we really do to you? We don't get Africans fired. Well, let's call it what it is. Some Africans have gotten Black Americans fired on jobs, and then you try to bring in y'all people, practicing tribalism. We don't do that. I have not seen Black Americans get on the job and be like, you know what, let me get everybody fired so I can bring in all my people. We don't do that. And a lot of immigrants of different groups do that. We've never done that to nobody. We're like, where you from? Oh, you from Nigeria? Oh, man, what city you from in Nigeria? Oh, you from Abuja? Okay, where that's at? And where's that by Lagos? Is that by Lagos? And like just asking, if anything, we asking questions. Like, okay, well, how long you been here or whatever? We always ask questions. That's it. We don't sit up there try to get you fired. Black Americans, the most you're going to get out of us, you're going to get a good roasting. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're going to get a good roasting. I know it hurts your feelings, but you're going to get a good roasting. That's for sure. You're getting roasted. And I know y'all can't take roasting. Oh, I know that about y'all. Y'all cannot take roasting at all. But roasting is part of our culture. We roast each other. I've been roasted to oblivion. It makes you better. Okay? It makes you tough. If you could take somebody roasting you, you know what I'm saying, and not reacting, then hey, you done built up some internal strength in you. So don't be tripping because you got a little roasting. What? So they roasted you about your penny loafers you were wearing when you got here in your uniform? Were they roasting you about that? They're roasting you about your hairline. I mean, yeah, look, if a Black American get a jacked up haircut and his hairline is messed up, he getting clowned every day until that hair grow back. He getting clowned. And that's what teach you to not have no bad barber. One thing about Black American men, we serious about our hairline. We serious about our barber. Our barber is very important, because if not, look, if I got on this YouTube or the app or anywhere I've ever been, and I come on here with my hairline pushed way back here, you think the people on this chat not gonna clown me every day? They not gonna let me rest until that hair grow back. Trust me, we don't play that about hairlines and looking all silly. We roast each other. If our clothes looking dirty, if our clothes looking wrinkly, if we smell like musty or whatever, we clown each other. But that's just the way we are, and we making you better. Look, we'll clown you, and we'll be like this, man. Who cut your hair, man? Like all right, we clowning you, but who cut your hair, bro? Oh man, this dude over here, this barbershop named James. Look, man, I got somebody for you. Look, let me give you this barbershop right here. Go to DeAndre. All right, go to DeAndre. Make an appointment with him. He gonna get you right. Don't have your hair looking like that, bro. No. And that's what we do. We clown you, and then we put you on game. Same thing with the sisters. The sisters may clown you about your hair too, as women, but then they're gonna say, okay, I got somebody. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna put you on game. If Black American women see an African woman just looking crazy in her dress, they're like, girl, girl, come on, we gonna take you somewhere. We gotta help you out, because you are not. I can't stand to see you like that. Where you from? Oh, you from a foreign country? What country? Oh, you from Ghana? Okay, well, look, no, you can't. We could get in with you. You know what I'm saying? and they help them out. You may get clowned, but you're gonna get helped out. That's our culture, and it's not even personal when we doing it. It's just what we do in Black American culture. But when you learn Black American culture, you understand, and I get so offended. Oh my God, he talked about my hair. And then 20 years later, you freaking 45 talking about the Black Americans, I don't like them. Why? Why you don't like Black Americans? Because they talked about my hair. When? When I was 15. Like, really? Bruh. You worrying about that hair? Haven't your hair grow back since then? Yeah, but they talked about me. Like, man, get over it, bruh. Like, stop being a little girl about it. You getting clowned. That's just what we do. But we help you in the process. That's the culture. But if you were learning the culture and assimilate, you would know that. Yeah, that's just what. Hold on, y'all. I didn't see something. Hold on. All right. Well, thank you, Chris Scott 870. And hold on, just paying my reparations. Oh no, you ain't paying no reparations, but it's a love offering. So let me go ahead and give Mr. Chris a hand clap on that. No, it's not reparations. The white folks owe that. You just giving a love offering, but we appreciate the love offering, my brother. We appreciate the love offering. It's going to go to a great, great place. I promise you, it will. But let's finish with what he's saying here.
To all of us, Africa is our home. In fact, I don't call Africa a continent. I call it a community. So it's all love, no hatred. To be honest, you get what I'm saying?
And look, it's no hatred on our end. We just want respect. We don't want belittlement. And you say Africa is the home. Okay. And I know there's way more Africans in the homeland than left. I know that. Okay. You can't take 1 billion people out of a continent and immigrate them here to America. That wouldn't even work. It wouldn't work. You can't put them in Europe. That wouldn't even work. Okay. I get it. But here's the thing. You say Africa is home. Well, you know what Muammar Gaddafi wanted y'all to do? And a lot of you don't follow that what he wanted you to do. He wanted you to come to America, get the skills, get the education. Then he wanted you to come back to the African continent and teach and bring those skills and teach those skills to your brothers and sisters over there so they can make the countries and your community a better place to live. And he had the right idea. You can't come over here and then parlay in America and you never go back home. And you don't teach nobody in your homeland anything. You don't even go open up a school or something to teach people the skills that that you have. You know what I'm saying? Because, maybe they can't afford no $100,000 college degree, but now you can open up a school that's affordable and make sure you're teaching that to the people. You know what I'm saying? You may not even have to be there all the time. You can I'm going to go do the school over here for the people. I'm going to hire somebody that's competent, and they're going to run the school, and I'm going to be coming back and forth, checking on the school, making sure the school is good, and everything. That's what you can do to help out your homeland. You can't help out your homeland staying here in America. Now, you can say remittances back, yes, but that's not really helping because, that deal, if you give a man food, they eat for a day, but if you teach a man to fish, he eat for a lifetime. And y'all sending those remittances back to your homeland, that's why they keep asking you for money, because immigrants all the time complain about they families and their homeland always asking them for money, send them money, because you haven't taught them a skill to make their own money. Sure, I wouldn't want my family to call me every 5 minutes either. And I'm like, bro, you ain't got a job? Why you always asking me? Because, in our culture, you just can't do that. You can't call family like that. Now, every once in a while, if you in a bind, okay. And you pay back, okay. But you every month talking about I'm giving you some money? No. Man, the immigrants got to sit up there and pay for their sisters and brothers over there to go to school. Because they school, you got to pay for it like private school. And okay, mama and daddy, it's your child. Why aren't you paying for their school? No, they expect the immigrant over here to send money back to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So you say every African barely wants to visit their homes. I think that's just weird because they come here and try to flex like they are better than us. They don't even like themselves. Let me tell you something. I've seen some spots in the African continent that's way better than here. All you got to do is have just a little money, not much either. Some of the homes, like that home I went to in South, I showed y'all those homes in that neighborhood in South Africa. Them homes was $200,000. In Texas, them homes would have easily ran $800,000 plus, $200,000, and them homes so fly. I was checking that out there. I went and looked at 5 homes, and I loved all of them. And that lady told me basically, if you put $100,000 down, you could pay a 20-year bond. Basically, they call it like a bond, but it's a mortgage, 20-year mortgage. And I calculated the payments. The payments are just barely over $400 a month. You know what I'm saying? I say, no, that's a house payment I love. And then you could easily pay that off. Or you can go buy the house cash. Say, you know what? I'm going to take my 401k money. I'm going to that place I went to in South Africa. I'm buying my house cash, and I'm cool. And them homes didn't have to worry about load shedding or nothing because they already had solar. They had it all. Then Brother Mark and them, and shout out to them from the real South Africa, they took us to eat at that restaurant. They have a whole restaurant golf course in the neighborhood. And so we went and ate at that restaurant overlooking that golf course. I said, man, I said, bro, this is fly. I said, this is a fly spot. I fell in love with it. So there's a lot of places in the African continent you could stay that's, I think, better looking than here, and they ain't got to worry about property taxes like we do. Because once you pay for your stuff over there, you ain't got to be paying no property taxes like that. Our homes are on subscription here in America. It's a scam. That whole property tax thing is an utter scam. It is. You pay for your house, and then you got to pay every year on a house that you paid for already. And they have people, they have elderly people, and we've covered it. I think out of Baltimore, we covered that, where elderly people are losing their homes for property taxes that they paid off. That's stupid. You should not have to pay no property taxes after you pay your house off. But that's the scam that go on here in America. And these folks think that, we in property taxes. How the city gonna make money, man? Just do a consumption tax or something. I don't know. Do a consumption tax. But not that tax shouldn't be tied to your property that you paid off. No. You say that's why white immigrants want bloody get out of Africa? Look, bruh, I saw it in my own 2 eyes. No, they don't want to leave. I seen why they don't want to leave. Especially when they go to Cape Town. Oh, that's a spot, bruh. That's a spot, Cape Town. Now, granted, Cape Town got some beautiful areas. Oh, they do. They do. I'm like, wow, this is pretty. Now, Do black people can afford a lot of that? No. Colored people? No. Maybe the rich blacks. But white folks flood that place, Cape Town. All them Europeans, a lot of white Americans go over there. There's a lot of Israelis over there in Cape Town. I mean, they are dominating Cape Town. But like I told y'all, my spot is Durban. I love Durban because you don't see all that. It's the Zulus and you see East Indians. You may see a few white folks sprinkled in, but it's mostly the Zulus and the East Indians in Durban. And Durban is just as much beach and beautiful coastline and all of that. And it's a shorter flight from Johannesburg. Anyway, the King Shaka Airport. So, yeah, I think Mark at the time, at least, I don't know, maybe he bought his house was saying they was going to get a spot out there too. And I'm like, man, I get why. It is beautiful out here. Beautiful. You know, look, I'm going to tell you what. There's some black Americans that's doing very well in the African continent with their businesses and living like kings and queens. You know what I'm saying? So we do well over there if we choose to go. We don't have to go, of course not. But that's why, you know, I think personally you can have a better quality of life there because the food is better, for one. The food is better. The air a lot of times is better because they don't have all those refineries like putting things in the air. Like, look, like this Department of Justice just got rid of the investigations when they, you know, dumping of chemicals, and they would dump these chemicals in black neighborhoods in the Houston area, and that's why a lot of people get cancers. This is what these people are on. That's not even safe. We dealing with people out here who literally have a Neanderthal mentality that, look, cancer and dumping chemicals is not good for nobody. But they don't care because they say, well, you do it in the black area. I don't care. And sometimes, I ain't gonna lie with y'all, I've said this before, I kind of like not being underneath them. If that's the peace I get out of it. Like I said, when I went to Ethiopia, I had so much peace. For them 10 days, I had peace. Why? Because I didn't have to deal with them. Beyond which, it's not black Americans I got an issue with. I'm cool with black America. If black America ran the country, I'd probably be at peace too. Well, I would be at peace. But if they run it, they cannot bring peace nowhere they go. Everywhere they go is fighting, warring, racism, a problem. They have proven that everywhere they go. So if they not running, so notice when we are by ourselves, the black Americans, and we have areas that we live in, we don't have problems. We really don't. Now, if you have, you know, poverty, then you're gonna have crime. But once you get out of impoverished areas and you just look in a middle class, regular middle class black people, do you know crime is literally almost non-existent with black people in the middle class and up? We do not be out here trying to commit crimes, bro. And we want nice gyms. We want, you know, good, healthy food. We want, you know, like I said, law and order too. We want that as black Americans. But every time we try to get a foothold in this country, these people try to sabotage us. Do you know that's my biggest issue with this country is the sabotage. The sabotage is worse than ever because you can work your whole life and these people can sabotage you just like this and ruin everything that you work hard for your whole life. You pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. You didn't steal from nobody. You didn't steal. And these people will sabotage us, even in the politics. You like I told you about these Republicans in Texas, gerrymandered all the districts in Texas or whatever to lessen the political power of black folks for sure. And then after that, you know, I would say Latinos. These people do this stuff. They tell you about merit, all this wickedness, but then they cheat. And that stuff gets old. You know, when you get older, you just get tired of it. And you realize that's just who these people are. You know, I'll call it what it is. It's just no righteousness in them as a collective. They prove it. It's not me making it up. It's what they do. They like sin and unrighteousness. They like cheating, lying. They like stealing. They like killing and justify it. That's just what they like to do. I'm not making that up. Look at their history. Their history is so bad, they want to take it out of books. And don't want people, well, I don't know why I'm sweating. They don't want people to even know about their history. That's how bad their history is. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, anyway, thank you for joining us tonight on the stream. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the like button. I hope you learned something. Every stream, I want you to learn something. I want you to get some form of education, all right?